I promise this isn't completely about Jayvik. Please don't click off, please, please. Hey, it's Allie. Welcome back to my channel. When Arcane first came out in 2021, I thought to myself, oh wow, something cool for League of Legends fans. In fact, they always get the cool stuff like KDA. Too bad I'm probably never gonna watch it. Well, this is my FYP now.
VIKTOR Nation, how are we feeling? Jace, JB, or JB not?
Goodbye. VIKTOR, you're my partner.
Our paths diverged long ago. It was affection that held us together.
You think it's so easy to turn?
And then when I started watching it and Caitlyn and Vi got together, I thought, okay, League, I see you. I was not familiar with your game. But little did I know that this and every single type of love under the sun would fundamentally rewire my brain inside of this show. Found family, gay love, straight love, psych, it's actually bi love, familiar love, sibling love, are we together in every universe, love, hurt, 100K, no comfort. So join me today as I talk about the major forms of love in this show. And again, what is another poorly hidden attempt to intellectualize something that I just want to yap about for however long. And also so you can see how deeply unwell I am. If at any time you like this video, please give a like and subscribe because I make videos like this all the time. And comment down below your favorite relationship in the series. Of course, it does not need to be romantic. It could be about siblings, it could be about platonic, any of that type of stuff, because we're going to be talking about all of that today. And hey, let's jump into it.
Why? Why do all this?
Why does anyone commit acts others deem unspeakable? For love.
God, I love these characters that are like beacons of hope and justice, and then you find out they're just a man. Vander is just that. He is this mythic creature almost to like a lot of the people in the Undercity, to his own kids who never just saw him as just dad, but as this thing that is representative of everything good in the world and what you can be and despite your circumstances and all of this. And he just wanted to raise some kids. And then of course later on in the show you get to see Vi put that burden onto herself, not for the Undercity, which is I think very important if we were to ever do like a full dissection of her character. She does not necessarily care for the Undercity as a place, as a home, so much as she cares for the people that she was with. Like Vander just wanted to do right by Vi and Powder's mom, and he did everything in his power to make sure that the kids were always going to be safe. Even if that meant, you know, making a few deals with a few enforcers here and there. Now, I will say though, she went on and said, you're not allowed to fail anymore.
You two are gonna figure this Zong thing out. I don't care if you have to carve it out of the bedrock, covered it in blisters. You're not allowed to fail anymore. For her.
Which I think is very problematic to say the least. Girl, like, okay, way to put some pressure on people. But I guess she didn't know that she was going to die either. So, you know, maybe she thought, oh, Vander is never going to be able to do this alone. So I say he's not allowed to fail anymore. But it's just a thing of like, we can't be the rowdy people we were in like our early adulthood years because we're going to have kids now and we want this to be a place where kids can grow up. I get it. But also, quite a thing to say to somebody. Now, granted, while Vi doesn't share the same love to the Undercity as the Undercity did kind of hold for her, at least as a place in a respect for its own. Like most Undercity people would rather die before they ever rat anybody out to Piltover, the enforcers, or anybody like that. And of course, unless they're being paid off by those people, right? But for the most part, the average everyday citizen is not just going to rat anybody out, which is why the kids went so long without being ratted out, which is why Piltover and the enforcers put so much pressure onto Vander to bring somebody to justice. And Vander wasn't going to do any of that, even though he could have just picked a random person, asshole, off of the street and been like, yep, that was that person right there. But he didn't want to do that. And obviously he still didn't want to put his kids in danger because he loved the Undercity so much. And I think also this is really interesting with the like parallels to Soko, because we find out later that Soko actually really loves the Undercity. Like he loves the idea of Zong and the idea of this place that is his and his lineage and his right to be in, you know, and building that place up as well, which is why I think fundamentally, no matter what happened between Soko and Vander, there was that fundamental difference of what are you going to do to make sure that this place is safe, to make sure that this place is prosperous. And Soko and Vander had very two different ideals of that, right? Vander wanted to keep the peace. He didn't want any more more bloodshed, where Silco thought bloodshed was necessary in order to get to where they want to be. I just feel like as a collective, we do not talk about Vander enough. That man haunts the narrative in ways that Casper the Friendly Ghost wishes he could, okay? Every little plot point in Arcane just somehow snakes its way back to Vander, back to the Undercity, back to all of these things. And Vander was just a guy. Like, he was just a guy. Like, but people saw him as this giant pillar and this giant beacon of everything, even if you were above ground. Like, the one lady who was like the enforcer that Vander was doing business with, they had like this respect for each other. Also her as well. Like, these were the two very thin strings holding Piltover and Zong together in terms of like the connections to each other that they had. Very thin strings. Both of them dead. Oh, everything collapsed. Everything collapsed. And also this idea that everybody respected and worshipped Vander, but when he died, who came to collect his body? Nobody. And that's how we ended up with Warwick, because nobody was there to collect his body. Who knows how quickly what's his face worked? I forgot the man's name. Surge? Is that his name? I'll put it in editing here. I don't think it's Singe. It was Singe, not Surge. I was like, I know it starts with an S. Guys, sorry, I got Sonic on the brain. But Singe was able to collect his body rather quickly. That's a big, huge man. Singe is not like a big, giant, like, I can do all this myself type of guy. He is the type of guy who manipulates other people into getting him what he needs to continue his experiments, right? So why and how did he get Vander's body? And who did they just left it there? And it just like, it really kind of shows how much of like a scramble it was once Vander was dead, because there wasn't anybody there to protect other people anymore. So when Vander did come back as Warwick, it almost felt kind of wrong. Like, it felt like a bastardization, which it was, of his character, because his character was like zombified and brought back to life. Usually when this happens in like narratives, people tend to get pretty frustrated with it. They roll their eyes and they're like, ugh, did we really need to do this? Because trying to bring back a character that like their death was so meaningful to the story can feel really cheap in a way and very fan servicey. Like, you're just doing this because you either ran out of ideas or that you just want to appease fans. But in this case, it was like done on purpose. Like, the bastardization of Vander and his body was done on purpose for the sake of Singed, right? Like, nobody was sitting there like, oh yes, we're gonna get Vander back, we're gonna get Vander back. Like, no, I mean, you might have been like, I was like, oh, maybe there's this chance. When Victor was doing his thing, I was like, oh, maybe there is a chance. Not without side effects, of course, but like, I was like, maybe there is a chance to bring him back and he'll just be this new character, maybe. I don't know. But like, all of it, the like tragedy of it, the fact that this man couldn't even rest in peace, all of it, the family that he wanted to be brought back together, all of it was just, it was just kind of like a laugh and a spit in the face that you will never be happy. Like, goddamn, this world, the Arcane world will never let you be happy. But there was, at least for a second, that glimmer of hope there, and that's the hope that brought Vi and Jinx back together as people. Both of them truly felt, even with Silco's death, with Jinx and Silco's death, like, it was like they truly thought, respectively to their own like father figures, that they can't go on. Like, they felt that they couldn't go on without their respective father figures in their lives to like guide them and tell them what to do, despite the fact that both of these girls are grown-ass adults now. They felt like, I need this guiding hand in my life that has been gone for so long. And Vi especially jumped at the chance, both in season 1 and in season 2, ready to leave her whole life behind because it hasn't been that great anyway, just for a chance to have that semblance of a family again. She was ready to go off to butt truck nowhere with her sister if it meant that she could have her sister again, even though she's not the same, which is the come to that like she had to come to. Does that make sense? In season 1, she had to come to the realization that Jinx is not powder, right? But she was still ready to kind of just throw it all away for that. Like, Jinx is most definitely public enemy number 1. She has killed people, multiple people, but Vi is still like, even in the second season, kind of like, well, like, yeah, my sister is gone, but like, what if though? Because at first, at the beginning of season 2, she's just like, nah, we got to get rid of her. She gotta go. She gotta go. And then later on in season 2, especially when Vander Warwick like comes back, she's just like, okay, but like, what if though? Like, what if though? Like, at this point, I don't even care anymore. Like, there has been criticism about her character kind of being all over the place, especially towards the end, especially being like one of the main characters. Like, you would think that like she would get a little bit better of like a full arc there, but she didn't, and that's that's a different conversation for a different day. But I think what they did do very well was her love that she has for her family, kind of sometimes blinding her because of she has not just love, but also this immense guilt that she has because of that love of her family being torn to pieces, most of them dead, and feeling like, oh, this is all my fault. Like, Vi has immense guilt. Powder too. Jinx too, but it has immense guilt, and both of them feel like this is my fault, and my sister hates me because of this thing, and I created my sister, and I have to deal with this. Me. Like, it's just the torture that Vi puts herself through constantly because she never feels like she's making the right decision. Bad things just keep happening to her and the people that she cares about and the people that she loves, and in that way, love is a prison for her. I also find it very, very interesting that in that way of love, that Vander and Silco felt this love for the Undercity that both Jinx and Vi do not have. Like, as soon as Vi could get out, she got out. Like, even though she was in jail for most of that time, but as soon as she felt like she could get out, she did. And with Jinx, like, she, you know, cares probably for the actual physical places that she has lived all her life, but she does not necessarily care for the Undercity in a way that she would do anything for it. When she is hosted up as this like Messiah, this second coming of Jesus, it'll be like, oh, she's gonna bring the Undercity to glory and all this type of stuff. She rejects that, wholeheartedly rejects it. And even when she tries to be hero, it doesn't work out because nothing ever works out for her. That's like one of the staples of her character. I bet if we ever get to see the character Bible for her, it's going to say, like, in red letters, nothing can ever work out for her. Because that is like her character. She's just tragic character. Nothing can ever work out for her because she is Jinx. Oh, Jesus. Now, lucky for you, we don't just got daddy issues. We got all these mommy issues. Mel, if you're listening, if you're somewhere out there listening, you are a bad bitch. And no one, not even your mother, can take that away from you, okay, girl? The, like, realization that Mel is so calculating and yet has this like bleeding heart, but is still so calculating, is because of her mother was the biggest like, oh, we're going there, aren't we? We're going there, aren't we? That I have ever had the displeasure of relating to. Look, I love my mom. Me and my mom, we're like this now, okay? And despite all of this pressure to be this cold, calculating, seductress lady, she just couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Her heart immediately softens to the people of Piltover, to the technology and the magic of it all. And also, of course, Jace. Like, her heart melts to Jace. Now, that relationship doesn't go anywhere because of obvious reasons we will talk about later. But she now feels this, like, bleeding heart for the city. Like, the city is now hers, not in the same way that Mbessa views cities as hers, but in a way that's like, I want to do right by these people. I want to care for these people. I want to be the person that my mother like thinks that she wants me to be, but like in a different way. And she doesn't, of course, now the like physical change of that being when she becomes a mage, right? But like also just mentally, even before that, when she finally gets to meet her mother and she realizes that all of this was a play to get to Piltover, she immediately becomes defensive of Piltover. She has fallen in love with Piltover and she has fallen in love with the person, I guess, that it has like allowed her to become when not trying to live under her mother's shadow. And it's just, oh God, Mel. Mel girl. And despite that though, there are some moments in the show that are just like, she clearly wants to do right by her mother. She clearly wants to be the person that her mother thinks that she could be. The whole Black Rose thing is what makes her realize that love that she wants from her mother, that she's never going to actually get that. And speaking of Caitlyn, also wanting to prove her mother wrong, that the path that Caitlyn wanted to go down as being an enforcer was the good and just path, that her path not just was a good path to go down because her mother didn't want her to do it, but also that it was better than what her mom was doing. And I think that is so interesting to me, that she felt like she never really even knew her mom, because her mom just never explained. I never understood this. Why do you never explain things to your children? But the fact that her mother never wanted to explain to her what the benefits of being a part of the council can do, and what you can do as a part of the council to actually give real change to the people, not just in Piltover, but also in Zon. She did not explain that to her daughter whatsoever. She just was like, her daughter wanted to become an enforcer because that's the way she felt like she could do real change. We don't want to... Caitlyn. Anyway, She felt like she could do real change by being an enforcer and like doing that because of the people in her life that actually explained things to her, even though that was a very like what's the word, idealistic way of looking at things, a very charitable, non-realistic way of looking at enforcers. That was still more of an explanation than her mother ever gave her. And so because of that, her ideals started to align with that. The people that she had to protect her whole life, these like rich assholes who just sit around and decide people's fates without ever actually having met them, or seemingly so, at least in the other like council members' faces, like doesn't seem very appealing to Caitlyn, and like rightly so in that case. And so she thinks at that time that her only like way to prove to her mother that like she can do all these things is obviously go up in the like enforcer ranks. So of course when her mother dies, she feels even more of this immense pressure to follow in her mother's footsteps. The song, you know, heavy is the crown. She feels even more immense pressure than she already did before her mother died. And of course that leaves Mbessa to come swooping right back in to be like, oh, you need a mother? I can be your mother. That sounds weird. I'm sorry. But she does. She does. Mbessa sees like kind of twofold that she can be this kind of mother that she never got to be towards Mel, because Mel doesn't vibe with the stuff that Mbessa wants out of a daughter, right? She doesn't want this like warlord, no nonsense dictator that Caitlyn was shaping up and being. You can say being groomed to be, which like I'll agree with that. Like Caitlyn was in a way being groomed by Mbessa to be this like big dictator puppet person that she could just pull in every which direction. But what ends up being Mbessa's own undoing is the fact that she taught Caitlyn and Mel how to be so fiercely independent on their own, how to be so calculating and how to calculate other people, that they were able to both physically outdo Mel. That's also the other thing too. You taught them how to be physically strong and fight as well. So you taught them how to physically do that, mentally do that, like how to like manipulate people, how to get under people's skin, how to read people. What's really important, what helps out Mel and Caitlyn in the end, is the fact that she was able to read Mbessa so well. And I think that's because Mbessa at the end of the day also loved Mel, and in a weird way loved Caitlyn, and loved the fact that she could make Caitlyn and mold her into this daughter that she never got to have, this parenthood that she never got to experience, because she sacrificed it, and I put that in quotes because mother of the year over here, for the sake of her family lineage rather than for her actual blood that is right in front of her. Both of these moms feel like they know what's best for their child, and that love and that fierceness I know a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people can relate to. Luckily, however, my mom ain't that crazy, you know, but like I said, me and my mom like this, so that is it's never gotten like that deep and that bad, but a lot of people can relate to the idea of like their mother, knowing that their mother's fierceness and expectations come from a place of love and potential that they see in their own child, because they know that you can do great, they know that you can do all these cool and amazing things. However, that pressure onto your child is immense. It is insane, and it's suffocating sometimes, honestly. And like I said, me and my mom like this. But I definitely can relate to that idea of wanting to fulfill this pressure that you have, wanting to fulfill the like potential that has been thrusted upon you. And of course, in this fictional case with Mbessa and Caitlyn and Caitlyn's mother, whose name I forget, sorry, and Mel, it is so much more. Like, it's like to the nth degree the most like hyperbolic thing you could possibly think of in that relationship. And of course, we cannot talk about Caitlyn or Vi without talking about CaitVi. Guys, let's be cordial in the comments now. We're getting in. This is the tricky territory, because now we're going to be talking about the 3 biggest romantic love ships in Arcane. So please, everybody, let's take a deep breath. Let's be kind. Let's be cordial. Okay. And let's talk about CaitVi and how they probably shouldn't have ended up together. I am like, the daylight is gone. It's 4:37. The daylight is gone, but I'm too lazy to turn on a light, so this is what you're getting. Toxic Yuri, save me. If I was not a lover of Toxic Yuri, I would be a CaitVi hater, I think. And I know a lot of people are actual CaitVi haters because they do not like that Toxic Yuri. Okay, I do. I like a little messy gays, okay? What's a little mess? What's a little gay without a little mess? Okay, like it's okay, guys. But if we're talking seriously, if I knew these two in real life, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'd be like, oh, y'all want to be together after everything that just happened. Y'all want to stay together. Like, A Delulu part of me is like, guys, it's just enemies to lovers, guys. It's just enemies from two separate sides of the tracks, guys. And I was like, yeah, but also a part of the whole enemies thing is the fact that Caitlyn fundamentally sees Zonites as below her, which again never gets really talked about. Like the whole idea of like, you have her blood running through your veins. I thought you were different from what exactly? Caitlyn, quickly girl, quickly. Now a Delulu part of me is like, they have this magneticness that brings each other closer every time, despite all the things that they've gone through. And the other part of me is like, yeah, that's called trauma bonding. But like, let me know down in the comments below, do you think CaitVi should have like ended up together? Should they have been in game? I'm glad they got a happy ending. Especially Vi, she deserves it. She deserves that happy ending. Okay, y'all were freaking out over the lesbian sex scene in the dungeon jail. Y'all were freaking out over that, but like, listen guys, okay, I think Vi deserves it. She deserves a break. Okay. The fact that they as lesbians got that long without getting it on anyway, you know. Which like begs the question, did she get it on with Maddie before she got it on with Vi? No, right? They had implied sex before that, right? We're not going to get into it. I do think it's crazy, though, that Maddie, of all people, was the one that had to tell Caitlyn, hey, girl, you know that, like, you created the monster, right? Like, yes, Jinx did a lot of fucked up shit, but the idea of the people not turning over Jinx, because not only is she a Zonite, but also because she represents something now, and you helped in the aid of making her a martyr, despite the fact that she's not even dead. You just made her a martyr? Like, whose fault is that? Girl, that's your fault. Maddie was an up, playing for the opposition, playing for Mbessa, and still told your ass straight up, hey girl, you know this is your fault, right? Like, this ain't even Mbessa's doing. Like, yeah, she may have pushed you a little over the edge, but you were the one who was like, yeah, we need to get Jinx. You're the one with this hatred for Jinx. Girl. And I saw a tweet that was like, Jinx has a lot more to be mad about at Caitlyn than Caitlyn does at Jinx. And fight about it in the comments. And of course, Vi is so wrapped up in her guilt that anytime Caitlyn lashes out at her, she just kind of takes it. She's just kind of like, oh yeah, I probably deserve this. Now, did Vi fuck up a lot of times? Yes. But like, goddamn girl, you can't just be a punching bag. Like, people on TikTok are like, Vi needs to stand up. She needs to stand up. But also they're lesbians, so I don't know what you expected. Now, I will say though, and this isn't Delulu, I do think they actually had some chemistry, and I do think they actually loved each other. So this isn't just like, oh, I hope they never loved each other anyway. They did. They absolutely, they absolutely do love each other. So in that case, you can't deny that there is love there. I think for them, it's just, you know, right time, wrong people. Speaking of, let's talk about Timebomb.
Je vous jure, j'ai pleuré les frères en live. Je suis désolé, j'ai pleuré, mais...
Pire, c'est toi et moi.
Okay, but like, did you need to hurt us like that for Tish? Did you need to hurt us? Did you need to hurt us like that? Everything I learned about Timebomb makes me want to cry. The more I learn, the more I cry. First, there's the whole, oh, the dance was in 4 FPS. Secondly, there was the, oh, Powder is dancing a lot like her mother and looks a lot like her mother in the scene. Then it's, oh, look at the crop top. And then it's, my best enemy is you. Flee from me. The worst is you and I. But if you keep searching for my voice, forget me. The worst is you and I. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was not a Timebomb truther until the second season. I know people have been shipping them since way back when, and people are like, no, it's such a toxic ship because they're enemies, blah, blah, blah. Look, guys, just because people are enemies does not mean the ship is automatically, like, super duper toxic and, like, unnecessary. But, like, that... We're not gonna have a conversation on fandom etiquette right now. That is a video that I need to make eventually because we have lost the plot. And we have lost the plot. Absolutely. We have lost the plot. And it's funny because usually when shippers go like, but guys, you got to think about what could be, what could have been in a different universe and an alternate universe, and we would all look at you like you're crazy. Like, we would look at you like, girl, if you have to think about an alternate universe in order for these two to be happy, then maybe not. And then and then they were like, Fortiche was like, don't even, no, we got you, don't even worry about it, and then proceeded to show us in a different universe how great things would have been. Oh, okay. I also think character-wise, getting to see the main universe Echo feel so strongly against Jinx at the beginning of that episode and slowly realize that like, oh no, this is what really could have been, and these emotions aren't just unfounded. Like if he truly didn't like her, he would have just continued being a jerk to her the entire time, even though that version's Powder didn't deserve it, right? Like she didn't do anything wrong, but like even after he like literally was like, did you kill her? Like, wow, what a thing to say, Echo. But like also like if he didn't like her, he would have just continued acting like that for the rest of the time. But the fact of the matter is that he, you know, was getting help from her and things like that, but also enjoying his time with her genuinely, to the point where he realizes at the end like, wow, I really in another timeline, I guess. And it's so bittersweet. It is so bittersweet. I think also the fact that like Echo doesn't want to stay in this universe is so poignant. Like he is okay with going back to his world and going back to the mess that is there and going back to that Jinx. He is so okay with that, and I think that screams volumes. That absolutely screams fucking volumes. Not because he's necessarily like in love with that version of Jinx. I don't think that he is. I think that he realizes that he could have been, or maybe even could be in the future, despite everything that she has done. Especially because we see at the end there, hello, crop top. But the fact that even Heimerdinger brings up like, dude, you could just stay here. Like, hello, like it's pretty good here. I sung a whole song about it. Like it's pretty good here. Actually, I don't think that's what the song was about. But that's the point. Is like he's like, it's pretty good here. You can stay here. Like it's okay. Like I won't be mad at you if you decide to want to live in this life. And maybe Echo felt some type of sympathy for that version's Echo, taking that away from him. Echo always had this like big giant responsibility on his shoulders as well, which like, and that's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT, okay?
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But like the decision to go back to his time knowing that he may not get that chance to be with that person because that person just does not exist in his universe. And also apparently there's a deleted scene where he tells Jinx about it. I need a Blu-ray DVD box set extended edition right now, because there's also apparently an extended version of the lesbian sex scene. Go ahead. Give it to me, French people. Give it to me. You got me crying over a French song. Yeah, I need reparations. I need reparations now. And so we end our romantic love and every universe with Jayvik. Huh? Brotherly love. Why was that gayer than the lesbian sex scene? God, where do I even start? Well, let's start at the beginning of why people ship Jayvik, because some of y'all seem to be confused. You mean Jace was bi the whole time? Yes, girl. Yes. Like, that man has such bi energy that is actually kind of disturbing. Because what do you mean every single time Jace did something, he was constantly thinking about Viktor? And I do mean every little thing that Jace did. At the end, even if he was being manipulated by somebody else, at the end, he'd be like, but Viktor, though. Okay, all right, sure, When he was in bed with Mel, the whole sex scene was going like, you can't sit here and say, oh, the parallels between Jinx and her old self and the shots and the composition. So okay, so you know that the shots and the compositions are shot on purpose. All of the parallels are shot on purpose to mean something. So you're gonna sit there and tell me that the shots of Jace having sex with Mel, comparatively, composition shot, cut to Viktor dying. Okay. In Jace's brain, when he's being confused and he doesn't know what's going on, he sees Mel and then it morphs into Viktor. Are we being serious right now? So you're gonna tell me that none of that was intentional? All right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Post-nut clarity hits this man. He gets out of the bed with the beautiful black woman he has in his bed and decides to go be with his dying twink. This is the type of greed they talk about in the Bible. I thought you were done with Hextech and me. Oh, brother, go sit down. Like, oh my God, Jace is the biggest puppy dog to ever have puppy dogged ever. And that's not even with the ships and everything. He's just the biggest puppy dog known to man. Jace was undeniably, objectively, at his happiest when he thought he was doing great things with science. When he was doing things with Viktor. I need you to be serious right now. when Jace came back and he was all rugged and he had voices in his head, we all thought those voices were the voices of some evil entity. I was watching people who play League explain all of the League lore and Easter eggs and everything, and they were like, yeah, the voices in Jace's head could be this evil entity from this part of the lore and blah, 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 blah. Girl, little did we know that the voices in his head was actually just homosexuality the entire time. And no, I'm not joking. That was my genuine reaction when I saw that. I was like, what do you mean? The entire time the voice in his head was an alternate universe Victor that told him to go save his universe. To go save his Victor. Y'all, please don't play in my face. Please be so fucking for real. And also that end of time AU Victor, not just helping him out the whole time to make sure that he could stay alive, but the fact that this AU Victor was sitting there next to the automaton Jace that died holding the hammer the entire time. He was standing there the entire time. He's been standing there for God knows how many years, decades, eons at the end of the universe because he killed everybody else in the universe. Why do you think Victor, let's get to Victor. Let's get to Victor. It was affection that kept us together. Mr. Oh, this ain't my room. The whole thing that I originally thought as well is like the whole trope of, oh, if this person just looked up from their books every now and then, they would see the people who are right in front of them, the people who love them right in front of them. And you're right. But it wasn't Sky though. So much to the point, whether or not you agree that Sky in Victor's head was real or just a figment of his imagination, so much to the point where Sky said when she was leaving that he said, oh, I'm gonna miss our talks. And she said, no, you won't. Whether or not you believe that was just a figment of an imagination inside of Victor's head or the real Sky, there was that realization there by the both of them that he did not love her. The things that he felt for her were not for her. The talks that he was missing were with Jace, because he then goes and decides that he wants to, in his little automaton, goes towards Jace looking all rugged and is like, hey, we could do this together. We could go through this glorious evolution together and it could just be you and me, knowing damn well that he's about to take free will away from every single other person except for Jace. He really sat there and said, you can be the only exception. I'm literally about to kill everybody in this universe, essentially. I'm about to make them all brain dead automatons that are controlled by me, and nobody's gonna have pain or feel anything anymore. Okay, no, okay. Yeah, okay. Now, like, why do you think he would say that? Do you think perhaps because he wants to be with Jace? Can I get a J-Man? Can I get a J-Man? And of course, Victor being so hurt afterwards when Jace is like, my partner died long ago. Okay, buddy, let's calm down. Let's calm down. But also, Victor was hurt. He was upset. He was angry. He said, okay. He said, I'm so happy for you and your fuck-ass girlfriend. I'm so happy for you. I'm so serious. And he was so upset. He said, all right, we're done here. Kill them all. Like, literally. Like, no homo, bro, but do you want to be the last living real human beings in the universe? Like, just as bros, though. Like, just as bros, though? Do you want it to just be you and I in the universe together forever? Like, just as bros, though. Like, no homo. I'm so sorry, Sky. I am so sorry, girly. I'm so sorry that you died for this man who never loved you. I'm so sorry, girl. Because not only did you die to the hubris of that man, but also, this man literally sat here and said, I knew the world was doomed, so I invented time travel to go back in time, not to save the person I killed. Oh, no. But to let my bestie, my bro, my homie, to save me from myself in the future. Not Sky. No. Also, during the scene when Eka was being LeBron fucking James, and throwing the concept of time at a motherfucker. Everybody else was being trapped under the control of Victor, but guess who wasn't? Guess who was being tied down by several different automatons, but still got to keep his free will, almost if Victor fucking knew that Jace was gonna have a conversation with him. Almost as if there was something in the back of Jace's mind saying, maybe I should hear him out. Just for like a hot second. Maybe I should, because there's no reason. There was absolutely no reason why Victor and Jace should have been having that conversation at that time. Absolutely none. Absolutely none other than Victor allow it to be. Victor was like, I actually do want to hear you out right now. He didn't have to do that. He could have just did the whole thing on his fucking head, turned him into an automaton, and we could have been like that. But no. No. He wanted to hear him out. He wanted to talk to him. He wanted to talk to his buddy, his pal, one more time. And oh my God, this conversation. And now, fellas, is it gay to tell your friend that they're beautiful? Actually, no, it isn't. And you should tell your friend that they are beautiful. You should absolutely 100% do that. That is not gay. Who gives a shit, though? But it's not. But fellas, though, is it gay to not only tell your friend that they are beautiful, but is it gay to go on a full monologue about imperfections and how they make you who you are and that you are beautiful and that there was nothing ever wrong with you, Victor? What if I threw myself off a bridge? And fellas, is it gay to not give a shit if the entire world ends? You don't even care about saving the world anymore. You don't. You just want to be with your bestie again. And fellas, is it gay to turn into a cosmic butterfly with your homie, turning into the last remnants of what is the through line of this show, which is love? The last two characters to do anything monumental in this show about love turn into a cosmic butterfly and turn what is left of the world of this magic of the love of Arcane into a tiny little rock. Fellas, is it gay to turn into a rock with your homie? Okay, but yeah, sure, just as brothers though. Just as brothers though. Brotherly love, right? Am I right, guys? I'm getting Voltron flashbacks. Impact over intention, always. And also the fact that Mel's voice actor, almost every other single voice actor, and the artist that actually worked on the fucking show already shipped Jason Victor. Sorry if I don't believe you. Everyone say thank you, official League of Legends account. Thank you. If that's not love, then what is? If that's not music, then what is? That Under Pressure Jayvik edit stays in my head rent free. I have to watch it every day like the goddamn morning papers or I will lose my mind.
But it was gay. Why should I have to apologize? I saw gay, so I said gay. That ain't bullying. That's an astute observation.
Well, I'm sorry you had to see all that. RIP to all the fallen soldiers who watched Arcane and thought it would be a good idea to go play League of Legends. I will see you on the other side, my friend. But in all seriousness, Arcane was this lightning in a bottle show that truly showed the depth and the power of love and the things that characters and people will go through for the sake of love. And I didn't even talk about Singed. And Singed is like the overarching evil bad guy that we didn't even get to talk. He just got away with it too. He just got away with it. That's the crazy part about Singed. I hope there's some type of like spin-off show with Singed because he's like, out of all the characters, he's the one that I want to know more about. He's the one who I want to see more of. But he knew the ways people would act because of love, whether it's love for their city, love for their family, love for their brother. I'm sorry. Anyway. And this show, there will never be anything else like it. Like, they can make sequels up the fucking wazoo, but there will never be anything like this series. And it is so beautiful to show, like, just a masterclass in animation, in music, in the ways animation and music like are like this together. Oh my god, every video had a music video in it. Every episode had a music video in it. Like, can we? Oh my god. And the fact that the show ended with two people who loved each other just embracing one another. No big magical spell, no big fight, just two people embracing each other and loving each other. Whether you agree that was platonic or romantic, that's how the show ended. Oh, yeah. I'm billing you my therapy. Fortiche? What's your address? I got international shipping. I'm billing you my therapy bill. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you did, you are a real one. And oh my god, thank you so much for all the love and support on my last video. I was not expecting that, but we started from me posting a random post online about the fact that there was a mouthwashing fandom, and then you guys showed out and drove. So thank you so much. That's the first time a video of mine has ever reached 100K. That feels very surreal. Like, people are still commenting. I'm like, damn, like, y'all still commenting. And I'm trying to get to all the comments. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comment, but like, I just, there's so many comments. I'm like, this is just so much. Thank you though. I like, it's crazy. I literally was like, it'd be nice to get to 10K this year. And then in like November, I was still at 6K and I was like, oh, that's probably not going to happen. It's fine. And now I might realistically actually get to 10K this year. Crazy to me. So thank you so much. If you're here and you subscribed, I hope you're ready for more yapping. Sonic the Hedgehog is next, babe. Actually, technically Shadow the Hedgehog. I will be talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, strap in. strapping because I'm so ready to go watch that movie. I might try to squeeze another video in before then. We'll see though. I really want to talk about My Hero Academia, but I might save that for the new year because I have a lot to say. I might do like a stream and then like turn that into a video because I know The Amazing Digital Circus is coming out, a new episode of that, and then also there's like a horror project that I wanted to like look into that looks really cool, so I might do all that and then like turn it into a video maybe. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and hey, I will see you in the next episode. Love and peace.